Hey guys, what is up? Happy Saturday. I've just got a couple of quick announcements, which by the way, you should be checking the featured section of the Facebook group. Just know sometimes the featured section is called the announcements on an iPad or on mobile. But every single week, make sure you're checking the featured section. This is where you're going to find any important announcements that you need to know. I get a lot of people that saying, well, I didn't know something. Well, I'm telling you, and I tell you guys in every single call, we want to be checking the featured section every single week, okay? So I just posted this, and I know there's going to be some people who are going to be like, well, I didn't know about this. And so basically what I'm going to do is I'm offering some complimentary one-on-one Zoom calls to help you fix your ads this holiday season. And all I'm asking in exchange is you let me record it and use it for content. That is it. So make sure that, again, you're checking the featured section. Not sure how long I'm going to do this, but, you know, that's there. Also, the March event in Phoenix is almost sold out. If you guys didn't attend my last event, here's your chance to grab a seat to this. I have put the link in there. You can see all of the awesome details. So if you've picked up my book, the event is literally a live version of what I cover inside my new book, Super Duper Profitable Ads. But we always have some really cool things planned. My band played back in October. We might do it again. I don't know. But my mentor, Nick Peterson's going to be there. My copywriter, Lucas Rashevsky, is going to be teaching some more AI stuff. Brandon Straza, the creator of the Success Finder, this amazing, amazing platform where I host my free community. If you haven't joined my free community, that was in the onboarding sequence. But let me know if you want to be hooked up with my free community inside the Success Finder. I release all kinds of exclusive stuff there because I don't want to overwhelm you guys here in the $7 program too much. And so what I'm going to also do is I'm going to scroll down, and this is also where I post any of the upcoming events, which, by the way, on Monday, we have a conversions over coffee, open strategy chat. Make sure you read the details if you want in on the hot seat. So 2 different ways that you can get your help just this week, right? Join Conversions Over Coffee, our live Zoom call, or you can apply for a one-on-one complimentary Zoom call with me. Other than that, I think that's all the announcements we have. I am going to dig into the Ask Laurel thread. Now, before you submit in the Ask Laurel thread, make sure that you read the rules. If you see that your question has been removed from the thread, that means it didn't follow one of the rules. 2 of the rules that most people get, they kind of skip or glaze over is there's only 1 question per member. Make sure that question is clear. Make sure it has context. And if you want me to approve your power offer copy, make sure that you're following the rules here. But otherwise, deadline is every Thursday at 5 o'clock because I actually prepare for these calls so that it doesn't go on for hours. No one wants to be on a live for hours to get their question. And so I'm going to go ahead and I am going to take a look at Karen's question here. This was actually a really great question, and I love whenever she actually because she posted the stats of this. And so I'm going to go ahead, and it says my video view power content ads have some very weird metrics. I'm hoping you can help me understand. I swear that I've set up the hook, hold, and cost per 25% tracking up correctly, but these numbers just don't make sense. My niche is that I'm a self-care coach for autism parents and have gotten a lot of positive feedback on the video. So here's the thing, okay? If you are getting great through plays and if you are getting great hook rates, right? You can see here, hook rate 87%, which is awesome. Hold rate 75%, but cost per 25% view, okay? Typically, this means that either the content itself fell short or you took too long to get to the meat and potatoes. That is typically the reason that the hook rate or the hold rate is a little high. So I would say, Karen, go back to your video and see like what happened right after I got done with the pitch. Did I take too long introducing myself? Did I take too long to get to the point, or did I under deliver on the promise of that specific video? Okay, so those are the reasons why your cost per 25% view would be high. It would be, well, You either didn't deliver on the promise, you didn't get to the meat and potatoes fast enough, or you talked about yourself a little bit too much in the humble brag. A lot of times too, what will happen is if you go too broad with your content, it might attract some looky-loos, and then once you start talking about the thing that you're going to talk about, they kind of drop off. But those are a couple of things that I would do. One of the things that I would look at is your targeting. Am I targeting the right people? And is my copy attracting the right person? Okay, so we've got Miss Christine next. She said, thank you for feedback on take number 2 of my milestones. Here's a take number 3. I think I'm getting closer. My question is, am I getting closer? Let's take a look at that, Christine. Let's see, milestone take 3 for good jelly and jam. Let's see, milestone number 1, complete first 1 week romp. Create 1 backlog, make 1 romp plan, complete. I love how there's measurable things here. 6 to 8, I really like this. Look at this, romp wrap completed for 100% romps, 6 to 8. This is awesome. I freaking love this. Continue with at least 2 to 3 weeks per month. Practice number 1, power, keep milestones, define 3 ways you PK, define 3 Ks you PL, make 1 inner complete practice. I think these look good. Integrate the 4 to 5 practices. One thing that I would add to this is, what is the result? Like, what are the result that they could actually expect? That's the one thing that I feel like I'm missing is at the end of these, right? Complete the first week, but what should they, like, what is their result? Their milestone is they completed the first romp, but what is the result that they want from doing this? Like, how do they know that they've had success with completing that, right? And I don't know enough about your offer, but that would be the only thing is at the end of this, like after integrating the 5 fortified practices, what have they accomplished? Have they written their book? Have they written the first chapter? Have they written their first manuscript? That would be the only thing because that's what people are going to pay for, right? Like, what is that direct result? But other than that, I mean, I think these look pretty good. That's the only thing is, what is the ultimate goal, right? What is the ultimate promise? Let's see. Wendy says, I have a service related to real estate, but I'm not directly advertising homes. Every ad I run with targeting gets flagged. I have had success appealing some, but not all get overturned. Should I just run ads with no targeting or abandon ship and move to YouTube? Also, I'm doing the offer validation and booked my first call. Awesome, Wendy. Great job. So this is going to go away. Like once you start... And my other question is, are you doing power content? Are you doing conversion multipliers? Because typically power content and conversion multipliers will get approved a lot faster. I typically see this when people are running a lot of direct ads. But yeah, I would say appeal as many as possible. I would also hop on Facebook chat support. So I do have some clients who are in the real estate industry, but again, kind of like you, where they're not selling homes. And so all I do is I hop on Facebook chat support and I'm like, is there any way that we can get these ads approved and kind of take off the red flag of them being in real estate, because they're not. And more oftentimes than not, the person on chat support can make like a little note. But unfortunately, anytime that you talk about real estate, you're gonna, the AI, because that's how Facebook approves things. But most of the time, if you're following the rules, if you're using your power content, if you're doing the whole ecosystem, this typically goes away after a couple of weeks. By the way, congratulations on your first call. That is freaking awesome. I did want to answer your other question. Should I just run the ads with no targeting? It depends. I'm not really sure who you're targeting here. But Facebook's AI targeting is pretty decent if you're running conversion ads. I don't recommend Facebook's AI yet for like power content and stuff like that. But if you're running conversion ads, that's the only context I'm missing here is you haven't really told me what type of ads you're running and to what offer specifically. So it's really hard for me to be able to give you any more advice than that. Guys, make sure that you're giving me enough context. Like, what is your offer? Who's your audience? Like, those are things that I need to know to answer like these questions as specific as possible. But hopefully, Wendy, we were able to talk out enough to where you're clear on what you need to do. Let's see. Patrick says, hey, Laurel, I'm wondering about retargeting as you practice it, building an audience of people who've watched 25% of your videos in cold traffic, and then targeting them specifically with the rest of the funnel starting at 1,000 people. So this is a big misconception. I do not just retarget. Guys, I do two things top of funnel, right? I'll finish reading your question, Patrick, but I want to make that absolutely clear that this is not the strategy. If instead of targeting the small audience of 1,000 people, we continue to make our content broad, don't you think Facebook is smart enough to first target this audience of people who already frequent our page before then going on to less traffic that knows less about it? So why not let Facebook do its selection work with AI instead of targeting small audience ourselves? So this goes back to the ecosystem, right? The ecosystem is made up of two things, right? If I pull up this graphic of the ecosystem, right? Like, people have this misconception that all I do is run cold traffic to power content. That is not true. And like, if you guys go through all of the training, you will actually see, like, if you go into the ecosystem training, I actually walk you guys through the entire ecosystem and how it actually works. Like, if you guys take a look at this, I run cold traffic to two things: power content and pretty much offer ads, depending on if you're here or if you're doing conversion multipliers, right? So the misconception is that people think that I run just power content top of funnel. That's not true. I run cold traffic to my $7 offer. I run cold traffic to VSL ads, challenge ads, event ads. But there's purpose within the ecosystem. And so if you are still confused about the ecosystem, make sure you're watching a deep dive on the ads ecosystem right here so that you guys can get clear. So when it comes to using AI audiences, right now I'm only using them for conversion ads because I still want full control. And that's just a personal preference of mine. Like, video view ads are super freaking cheap. That's why I like running video view ads to them, and I want the most control. I don't want to spend money for Facebook to maybe find my audience. But here's the thing, I will go more broad in my conversion campaigns because conversion campaigns are more expensive. And so I'm more open to using AI when it comes to the more expensive and broader audiences. So great question, Patrick. And hopefully you understand the difference, that I'm not just running traffic to power content and retargeting people. That is not the strategy. Sue says, hey, Laurel, I watched the training you have for YouTube. I have a low ticket offer. I want to run ads on YouTube. I do not recommend this. That is why it's not in the program. I have made 2 sales so far on Facebook. It's for my group coaching. Keep running them on Facebook. Low ticket offer ads do not work well on YouTube with a cold. And I saw that you don't have a warm audience on YouTube. The only way that I recommend running ads on YouTube is a retargeting strategy. Unless you have a high ticket offer, you can use the YouTube strategy that I have here. If you go to offer ads, and it is the YouTube ads for high ticket. I think a lot of people don't realize that there are YouTube ad strategies here. I do not recommend YouTube ads in this. You will lose a lot of money. I'm just gonna be real. Make sure that you exploit the heck out of Facebook ads. Facebook ads is by far the easiest platform, and one of the only platforms that you could still make a low ticket offer work on. TikTok is it depends via the niche, but so I don't recommend. That's why I don't have low ticket offer ads for YouTube, because a lot of big, great people have tried it, and Alaric Heck will tell you this. All of the big YouTube people, we do not use it for low ticket. The only way that I use YouTube for low ticket is retargeting. Like, I run YouTube ads for my low ticket offer, but it's because I have a warm audience. So I do not recommend it in this situation. Let's see, Sean says, hey, Laura, I'm loving the book so far. I was wondering if you could break down top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel. I'm almost understanding it, but can you explain what content goes in which part? I think I'm going to make it into 3 lists: top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel. So I know power content and offer would go top of funnel, retargeting, warm, stack in the middle. So if you go in the book, I'm not going to go into this because I literally lay this out in the book. So maybe you just haven't gotten to that chapter yet. If you go into chapter 6 and 7, I actually break this down. And if you watch my ecosystem video, right, go back to here, the 3 missions, I break down every single thing right here in this bonus workshop and the content flywheel right here. I don't want to take up time on this live explaining that, but yeah, go to, if you want easy access to this, just go to chapter 6 and 7 in my book, and this actually explains it. Or just go and watch this video. These 2 videos right here will explain it. Let's see. Julie says, in my power content headlines that speak to my most ideal customer, how do you cut past the people that cannot afford your high ticket program? It's in your messaging. You want to know who your ideal clients are, right? My program is $6,000 for 6 months of group coaching, private coaching, and an online course. Main promise, I will help you get over divorce and create a life you love. The 3 power content pieces will be based on healing, reclaiming your identity, mastering their emotions. So do I say something like, are you independent, successful at work, but struggle? So that's see, knowing who your ideal clients are, like if they are corporate women, right? And this all goes into knowing who your audience is, right? So I'll give you an example. So one of my agency clients, she's an infertility coach and she has a $6,000 program. So on top of all of the infertility treatments and stuff that her audience is already paying for, her program is $6,000. But she knows her audience. She's like, they live on the West Coast, the East Coast. They shop at Lululemon. As a matter of fact, they're wearing Lululemon as they're looking at this. They've looked into adoption. They've done all of these things. And so it's not about targeting people with money. It's about speaking to people with money, right? It's less about, because I think a lot of people think that they have a targeting problem because they're getting people with no money, but it's actually the way that you're speaking to them, right? People who have money, and I'll just use like right here, right? Are you independent, successful at work, but struggling? So right here, what is something that women in a corporate world would resonate with, right? So they could say something like, like let's say you're just trying to like target someone in a female corporate world, right? Juggling corporate life and, most women who are juggling corporate life and going through a divorce have these 3 issues. Give me the next 5 minutes and but you see how like I literally spoke to people, right? Like corporate women are going to have money and stay-at-home moms are probably just going to scroll past that ad because you're not talking to them. And so this is where we have to know who our avatar is and literally speak their language. Like what you said, magnetically attract women, right? That's how you do it. You have to talk to them. You have to look the part. Like if you were trying to attract, super successful women, you probably should look like a super successful woman in your videos. You should use imagery that attracts, super successful women. You can do some targeting, like you could target based on income levels. You could target just the top 10% of income levels. You could target some of the more brands. But I find that the best way to do that is actually talking to them in a language that they're going to understand and that everyone who's not your target audience is going to just scroll on by. Let's see. Camilla says, what do you consider a high ticket with a $500 course? Shall I use the low ticket or high ticket offer strategy? This depends, right? Like everyone always asks this question, like, what's a low ticket offer? A low ticket offer is something that your audience is not going to bat an eye at spending the money. It's an impulse buy, right? If you are selling a crypto offer for $500, that's probably going to be a low ticket for the crypto audience. If you're selling a real estate offer for $500, that's probably going to be a low ticket offer for real estate investors, right? Considering all of the stuff that they spend money on. And so if I'm selling a $500 course to crypto, I can probably do that with just an ad. But you have not told me who your audience is, what exactly is your offer, right? And so I can't tell you whether or not to use the low ticket or high ticket strategy because I don't have that context. But typically, if you're talking a $500 course, I'm probably going to sell it via a VSL. That's on average. That's what we do with $500 courses is we sell them via a VSL. So if you go into the program and you go into offer ads and webinar VSL, I would sell this via a VSL. That's how I would do it. Or I would validate it through the power offer validation test. So I would do power offer to messenger. Because if you're not making at least, 10 to 15K, you probably want to get more people into a messenger conversation where you probably want to follow something like this. But again, I don't have enough context to be able to answer this. And this is not a knock on Camilla. I just want to help you guys as much as possible. And I hate saying I don't have context. Make sure when you're asking me a question that you're giving me context, like who are you targeting? What is your offer? How many have you sold? Have you sold any yet? That'll help me be able to give you guys better advice. But hopefully, Camilla, that's enough advice there to get you going. So Anna says, I'm in a different situation than most, if not everyone here. I'm an appointment setter for final expense life insurance agents. I have normally called leads from cards that were mailed in. An agent just switched to our agency who has generated his own leads using Facebook for years. And the agency has asked me to appointment set for him and learn what he has done to teach other agents and manage their ads and sets for him as well. He is self-taught, and honestly, I think his success is just from finding a couple of ads that work and continuing to run them as you discussed, 100%. The agent wrote $1.2 million in life insurance last year, primarily with messenger leads from videos he has run for several years. See, guys, video to messenger. It works. People clock the ad or comment. I ask them if they want to set up a call, get their number, and put them on his calendar. He also has a form where I call people, but those leads cost double, and I feel the messenger leads are a better route, and using your system will work great. I'm trying to set expectations with the agency and select a few agents to start with. All of their agents have done face-to-face and home sales at this point. The new agent does ads in over 30 states, and he does the majority by phone. My question is, will this work for those face-to-face? Because each day it will have to be a small area for them to be able to drive to the appointments. Normally, they book 8 to 10 face-to-face appointments a day, so drive time is 20 minutes or less between appointments. Any guidance is appreciated as I turn from appointment setter to adding in ads. I'm wondering if Lean on Laurel is something that makes sense to have a guided needed as I coach the agents through everything. I guess I'm not really understanding the exact question. Will this work face to face? I mean, we do have local service-based business owners that use this strategy, but I'm trying to set expectations with the agency and select a few agents to start with. All of our agents have done face-to-face in-home sales at this point. The new agent does ads in over 30 states, and he does the majority by phone. The question is, will this work for face-to-face each day? Yes, it will. As a matter of fact, especially this is actually, if I'm understanding this correctly, it's actually more important that we're having a conversation with these people first, because it takes 20 minutes to actually get to that. That's a lot of time. So you want to absolutely have multiple touch points with these leads before someone drives 20 minutes or less. So if I'm understanding the question correctly, yes. And I think that this would work in their favor even better than any type of other strategy. Let's see, Sienna says, do you know anyone who helps people recover from a shadow ban? I think I need someone who really has experience with this. I do not. I just always advise against doing anything that's going to get your account shadow banned. If you guys don't know what shadow banned is, just Google it. This usually happens to people who talk a lot about politics and social issues and all of that. I try to not talk about anything like that because guys, my social media is the lifeblood of my business. It's not my only lifeblood of my business, but it is a huge one. And so I try to behave myself on social as much as possible. If anyone knows anyone with experience in this, can you guys send them Sienna's way? I do not know anyone who knows how to recover from that. But if anyone here who's watching this does, please send them her way. Honey says, hey Laurel, so last week I asked you about my client's ads manager, why I cannot create video engagement audience. Now I did try to submit a report to Facebook, but I'm still waiting for them to take action. So my question is there anything I can do while waiting on Facebook aside from running the power content, since I can't get the data of the 25% of it anyway? I mean, should I do messenger ads instead and have them dive into her messenger since I can retarget? Yes, I'd probably be doing, if you can't retarget people based on I would be doing it in a way where I can figure out how to do conversations as fast as possible. I'd probably do a power offer. I'd probably do power offer to Messenger, and I'd probably do these conversion multipliers to Messenger. You'll probably have to run them to cold if you can't retarget the power content. But one of the other things that you can do, honey, it's not ideal, but it's still something that you can do. Just retarget page engagement. If you can't choose power content, just choose page engagement and ad engagement. Choose anyone who's engaged with this ad or page in the last, 90 days or so. Let's see. Eco Stuff says, hey Laurel, I run a new power content ad engagement for only one video for $5 for cold audiences. I just began and I have no huge budget. My online store is e-commerce. Okay, so if you're running an e-commerce store and you only have $5 a day to spend, you need to go into, so I would not be running video view campaigns. I'd be running a conversion campaign. Even if I only had $5 a day, I'd be running a $5 a day conversion campaign. By the way, we do test e-commerce at $5 a day for conversion campaigns. If you go into the offer ad section and go to e-commerce and you watch the masterclass, but if you grab the strategy doc, it will tell you exactly what you need to launch and who to actually launch it to. But if you only have $5 a day, look, there's even ad examples. If I only had $5 a day to spend, I would do it on this first carousel ad right here. and I would run it one ad set at $5 a day. And you can see here, conversion campaign. Okay. So we want to do so make sure you're following the strategy doc. Like, we only do video campaigns if and only if we have extra budget. But if you only have $5 a day, which, by the way, I don't recommend just doing $5 a day for e-commerce. That is not enough budget, really. But hey, sometimes it works. I would run a conversion campaign to this creative right here. Let's see. And then we got Miss Karen. Woo! We got done in 25 minutes. Guys, make sure you are going through the program. If you are confused on where to start, make sure you are starting here. A couple of announcements before I close for those of you guys who are just tuning in. Make sure that you're going through the featured section. I have a very holiday special gift right here because it is the season to be helpful, and we should all be helping each other as much as possible. If you want to apply for a complimentary, meaning free, one-on-one Zoom call with me, fill out this form, but make sure you read the directions to apply. And then my Phoenix event on March 3rd and 4th, where we will be going over the book in depth, in person. And if you need help with any of that, in-person help is always the best. I'm going to give you guys access to my copywriter, my mentor, Nick Peterson, my copywriter, Lucas Roszewski. This is going to be a fun event. It is almost sold out. Almost everyone who came to the event in October bought a ticket to this event, with the exception of a couple. So we do have a couple of extra seats. Just go to this post, and I posted the link to grab your ticket. Other than that, I will see you guys on Mondays. It's not cocktails and conversions, it's coffee, conversions over coffee. But make sure you're checking the featured or announcement section of the group. That is where all of the important announcements go every single week. I love every single one of you guys. I hope you guys have a